Today on Mondays with Mo, I'm going to sit down and ramble a little bit, as I often do, about the Sea of Thieves. The Sea of Thieves, ladies and gentlemen. I don't really talk about that game too much on the channel here, but if you follow me on Twitter, I am constantly posting pictures of my journeys with my pirate crew on the Sea of Thieves. It's a game I've been playing every single week since launch. I mean, we log in probably 2 to 3 times a week for our pirating sessions, and I absolutely love the game to death. You know, it's not perfect by any means. I understand a lot of people felt it was lacking in content at launch, but I gravitated heavily towards the sandbox, build your own adventure nature of that early Sea of Thieves experience, and that is the one thing, as they've added new content and events and expanded the world of Sea of Thieves, that has really kept myself and my crew sailing the seas day after day, night after night. You know, we just love the sort of anything can happen and anything usually does experience that Sea of Thieves provides, and it does it all in a really beautiful piece of world design. You know, we talked just the other day about No Man's Sky and how the design of the world does so much for the core gameplay. It's the exact same thing here with Sea of Thieves. You just have this beautiful ocean water system. I mean, the water in the game is obviously incredible. Being able to sail it and deal with storms and the different currents and the wind direction, and then going to all these different islands and really exploring them. You know, you can go to the same island hundreds of times like we have and almost always find something new, a little painting somewhere, a little hidden alcove with like a campsite and some environmental storytelling in it. It's just a beautiful world to spend time in. So if you gravitate towards that, hey, let's just get out on the open seas and sail with our friends and talk about life, talk about whatever, then it's a beautiful way to do that. And that's kind of the way that my friends and I have been getting together. They live about 7 or 8 hours away from me in another state. So when we get on a game like Sea of Thieves, we can, you know, set a task and go do some skeleton killing. We can go, you know, hunt the Meg when the events come around, or we can just go do some more casual, relaxed stuff. Just kind of chat it up on the deck of our newly obtained brigantine, you know, on our sloop, however many people we may be playing with, and just kind of enjoy that piratey life, right? I think that's one of the reasons we really enjoy the game. But then when it comes down to it, when you're actually playing the game, there's just a lot of fun stuff that can happen. And I think one of the things that Sea of Thieves has impressed me with most is its PvE PvP balance. I think when you create a game like this and you have PvP in it, everybody pretty much immediately goes to the concern that it's just going to be a griefer's haven, right? Everybody's just going to be griefing each other constantly. And that's just not the case with Sea of Thieves for a few reasons. I mean, number one, this isn't just an open, there's 40 players on one server, you know, persistent world, DayZ type PvP experience. Players are actually instanced into each other's instances seamlessly. They don't really have control over it. So you might encounter maybe a couple ships one night, maybe a lot of ships another night, all depending on where you sail, how you sail, and who gets instanced into your instance. So right there, that cuts down on like the traffic that you might see in a more condensed, persistent world sandbox experience like Rust or DayZ. But on top of that, the game doesn't really give any direct rewards for PvP. I mean, you're not going to like instantly get XP or credits just because you sank another person's ship or killed another player. You need to actually acquire any loot they might have and then turn that loot into win, and that's no easy task, right? So there's a constant risk and reward there to even attacking a ship. I mean, number one, will you win? Will they sink your ass instead of you sinking their ass? And do they have any loot? And will you actually be able to get your hands on it, or will they simply outplay you? It makes PvP far more interesting. It doesn't happen that often for the sake of griefing. And honestly, these days when it does, the number of people I think who are still actively playing Sea of Thieves, usually pretty creative. We ran into some pretty good role-playing crews, had some really good nights. I mean, we've had to call it off, like in super long PvP battle with another galleon. And it's like, well, it's 11:30, we got work tomorrow. All right, guys. The PvP was good. We'll see you guys another night. Let's call it even, right? And then log off. There's just a lot of really fantastic moments like that.
All right. It was a pleasure. Yar. Fair enough. Good night.
No.
Tony Mo. And a good day.
And what I love the most then outside of the PvP is the way that they've been able to bring the community together for these PvE events. I mean, the Megalodon was one of the best random social experiences I've ever had in video games. We ended up getting together with 2 other crews, I believe, to go hunt down the Meg. And I mean, we just coordinated. We got together with a great group of people. They were just nice individuals. And we took down the Meg on our first try. It was fantastic. It was beautiful. And then we went all back to the island where we turned in the quest, and we had like a music and a dance party, got drunk on the beach, played a bunch of tunes, and it was really special. Like, I only did the Meg fight during the event once, and it was not something I'm going to forget anytime soon. So now roll forward recently to the Curse Sales event, and they start adding the ability to create alliances so you can earn rewards together to go hunt down these skeleton crews, and I get the spectacular opportunity to have another experience like that. You know, it's not just luck. A lot of people are just willing to get together to complete these objectives because that's the way the game has built them. You know, they've done a very good job in ensuring that, hey, if you want to be rewarded for this quest, you got to get other people together with you because it's going to make it a lot easier. It's going to make it doable. And then if you form an alliance, you all get the rewards. So there's not this obsession with, oh, let's backstab each other after we complete the quest. They do a good job of separating the moments where players should be getting together to have fun, to sail the seas, and to complete large-scale difficult tasks like the skeleton crews and actual PvP. You know, they've done a really good job of that. I always talk about that idea of the human element with games, right? You can only do so much. You have to be very delicate with what you give us as players, because the players at the end of the day are going to do the thing that is most profitable for them as individuals. So if you make it profitable for a group to go ahead and do something together, then you have a better chance of them actually doing it together and not just turning at each other and blasting each other in the back. So again, when Curse Sales rolled around, we went and did the first battle that first week, and we had a great group of 5 ships, man. Just out in the seas. We had individuals come on our brigantine and help us a little bit. It was just this really spectacular and special experience. And I totally understand the concern that people have when it comes to playing games, experiencing games with randoms, and how often that can lead to not very good engagements. But every single one of the engagements I've had in these PvE environments with Sea of Thieves in a larger social aspect has been fantastic. You know, I think the game just attracts a really good audience, a really good, relatively non-toxic community. I mean, I've only had a few run-ins in PvP with people who were genuinely miserable griefers, and they probably stopped playing the game the next day. You know, it just doesn't reward that kind of play. It's just been a really special experience. I haven't wanted to see a game grow and get bigger and get better and refine itself more than Sea of Thieves in a very long time. It's just one of those games where I'm enjoying playing it each and every week, but I can't wait to see them learn from their mistakes or expand a certain system the following week. You know, maybe look at something that's been there since launch and say, how can we do that better? And that's kind of something Rare has already been toiling away towards. You know, like the initial mission structure for Sea of Thieves is just to do repetitive quests that are generated across the world with these 3 individual factions. Now they start introducing new factions with new ways to acquire currency for them, with new ways to actually engage in their missions. You know, so it really shows an indication of them saying, we can do that better. Let's start introducing new things and do it better than we did before. You know, and it's been a really good time, man. I mean, just again, it's not a game for everyone. You know, if you want like a really structured story experience with dedicated campaigns that last you 6 or 7 hours, you're just not going to get that. But if you like a good old build your own adventure sandbox experience that is loaded with some pretty solid tools to tell those adventures, to have those adventures, to tell those stories, then Sea of Thieves is spectacular in that sense. You know, it's a reason I keep urging people to give it a chance, especially if you just go with Game Pass on PC or on Xbox. You know, you pay, what is it, like, I think it's, you can just get a trial now. Otherwise, it's $10 a month. You pay for 1 month. You try it. If you don't like it, then, you know, forget about it. But it is definitely worth that $10 for that trial for that 1 month, just to see if it's something you'll end up falling for. Because if you do, I don't think there's anything quite like it on the market right now. It is actually a very special experience. So for as lightweight as it might be from a content perspective, although it is ever growing, there's something there that you're just not going to get in other games. And that's, I think, why I've fallen so hard for the Sea of Thieves. If you guys have been sailing the high seas, I'd love to hear what your experience with Sea of Thieves has been like. If it's a game that you never checked out or that you checked out at launch, I definitely consider maybe coming back to it again. Pop open one of those Game Pass trials again, or go ahead and, if you want, drop the 10 for the month. There's like a bunch of other crazy stuff on Games Pass. And, you know, give it another go. Give it another go with some friends, you know? It's not to say that the game isn't fun solo. I actually like doing some solo sailing, but co-op is really where the game shines. And experiencing the pirate life with friends is where you get all those special, beautiful moments that, again, you just don't get, you know? You don't get in other games. It is a very unique co-op experience. There's a lot of other co-op games out there, but there are very few that I think come together to create the beautiful soup that is a game like Sea of Thieves. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.